Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for Altenew and they are celebrating the new release of their washi tapes and stencils by holding a release blog hop and a giveaway. And I'm going to use some of the projects to create, products to create this new layout in my Life Crafted album. And for this particular project, I'm going to focus on the Rose Bouquet stencil. I think this stencil is beautiful and it's going to pretty much create my layout just using inks and the stencil and actually some of my brushes. So you're gonna see that my idea is to create kind of a triangle of the images using, just like I said, my inks and my brushes. So what I'm doing is I am masking the area where the stencil is gonna go. I'm kind of move it in a diagonal, so it kind of looks like a rhomboid right now, and I'm going to make sure that it kind of comes in half of it in the right hand side of the layout. I've already cut my paper to fit my little traveler's notebook binder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use to detail this. I'm documenting a picture of my niece and nephew and my kids together, and they're all pretty much wearing gray besides my niece. My niece is wearing a purple and pink dress, so I'm gonna pick some of those colors to detail my flowers. So I'm gonna use I have the mini ink cube sets. I'm gonna use rose petal and shades of purple to be the colors of the roses. So what I'm doing is I am picking up the lightest color. In this case, I think is oh my god, it's escaping my mind. It's Puffy Heart, and I'm using Puffy Heart and Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz is the base color, and all I'm doing is with the bigger brush just kind of going through the entire rose. You're gonna see that I added some washi tape just to mask the area where the leaves are gonna go. I don't want that much bleeding, even though you're gonna see at the end I do have a little bit of bleeding of the other colors. I'm gonna try to be careful with it. So I'm using the bigger brush just to, like I said, to apply the base color, which is the lightest one, and then I'm gonna go with the smaller brush just to pick up a little bit of the darker color and just to kind of detail the area, like the center of the rose where it's gonna be a little bit darker, the little edges where the petals meet. That's where, like, you're gonna create a little shadow. So I'm just gonna go with the smaller brush in those areas just to add a little bit of dimension. Now that I have the one rose ready, I'm gonna go ahead and start detailing the rest. And for the purple, I'm using, like I said, shades of purple. The same thing, I'm gonna use two different shades, a lighter one to create the entire rose, and then I'm gonna come in with my smaller brush and a darker shade of purple just to detail the center and to add some shadows. Once I have the roses in place, I'm gonna start on the leaves. And for the leaves, I actually use two sets of greens. I use parrot and moss, and I also use a frayed leaf and evergreen to detail parts of the other one. And you're gonna see that again, I am gonna be very careful as to masking the flowers. I'm trying to avoid by accident, or sometimes it just keeps that your brush, you just move it a little bit longer and you're gonna contaminate the area of the flowers. So I'm gonna try my best to move the masking tape so that the green doesn't go into the flower part, but still you're gonna see there's a little bit of bleeding regard, even though I was trying to be careful. And again, you're gonna see that I'm gonna go with a lighter shade of green to cover the entire leaf area, and then I'm gonna come in with my smaller brush in a darker area just to add some shadows to some of the parts of the leaf. And like I said, I used two different sets of greens just because I wanted to also add a little bit of contrast, the same as in the flowers. And this was super easy and super fun to put together just because I thought the stencil was gonna be plenty of embellishment for the background. And you're gonna see once I'm done, when I lift up the stencil, how beautiful it looks. And it was super simple to do this. So once I am done, I am gonna make sure that I set it aside for a little bit so it dries completely. This is ink. It is gonna be a little bit on the damp side, so I'm gonna make sure that it dries completely before I can continue working. So like you're gonna see, there's a picture of my niece and nephew, my kids, and then I'm gonna bring in the stencil again. And again, I'm gonna put it kind of on a diagonal, but I just want to create a little corner on the top left corner and the bottom left corner of the page. That's where I'm gonna add a little piece of the flowers, and that's gonna create, if you're gonna see, it's gonna create a triangle on my entire layout. Remember, I'm gonna cut this in half because that's how my binder is gonna go. So I'm making sure that the two clusters that I'm creating on the left hand side are gonna be enough to frame the picture, and then I'm gonna add my title on the right hand side. So you're gonna see that I've gone out of camera, cut my page in half, punched the holes. I actually used I found this paper in my stash that had all the kind of pinkish purplish tones, so I backed my picture with that, and I'm gonna set it right on the center of those two stencil areas that I created. Once I have that in place, I'm gonna bring the gold feather stamp set and the obsidian black ink just to stamp the title. I'm gonna put Sweet Love because that's what they are. Whenever they get together, even though they fight and everything, they like to spend time together. So I'm gonna use my obsidian ink and the golden feather stamp set to add the title on the right hand side of the layout. I'm just gonna stamp it on it. This layer was built all the inks and the stencil and some of the stamps, and I'm going to bring a little heart from the charmed set. You're going to see that I'm going to add it on the top of the Sweet Love. I'm bringing some stickers that I have on my stash, but I'm also going to bring the tabbed stamp set just to add the word remember. And I thought about stamping it on top of the title, but then actually chose to stamp it at the bottom of the picture. You're gonna see that I'm gonna add a few hearts, and then just to finish this layer, I'm actually gonna add some enamel dots outside of the camera, but that's about it. This was super simple. I love how it turned out, and like I said, a stencil, brushes, and inks, that's all it took to complete this layer, and I hope you try it. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Make sure you check my blog or join the Altenew blog club for a chance to win some gift certificates. And as always, you know what, there's a lot of inspiration going on, so make sure you come check it out. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you very soon. Take care, guys. Bye bye.